Hi guys, today we're going to talk about shading our 5 shapes in perspective. So here I have my 5 shapes that I have, and I want to start to think about the same concept I used when I was shading my squares. So I want to think about those light, medium, and dark. And again, we're thinking about that value chart. 1, 2, and 3 being my lightest shades, 4, 5, and 6 being my mediums, 7, 8, and 9 being my darkest. LMD is what I like to use to label those sides. So I'm going to use my pentagon to start with, my house-like shape, and I'm going to think about the direction that the light is shining on this house or this pentagon. And I'm going to use an arrow to represent my light source. So if my light is shining from above on my house from this direction, this is going to be my light side. It will hit the roof next. That would be my medium side. And last, it's going to hit this side of the house, okay, that dark side. Okay, so I'm going to start with my light side. I'm going to use the side of my pencil, just like I did with my cubes, really no difference. And I'm going to try to get an even, nice, light shade. If you feel like you got too dark already, you're going to use that eraser to dab out anywhere where you feel like you got too dark by taking the tip of that eraser and just kind of hitting at your paper slowly. That takes off some of the pigment without erasing the whole paper and kind of getting rid of everything that you have in there. So that just lightens up certain sections, and I love that little strategy. And then I'm going to turn my paper, because you know me, I love to turn my paper, and also keeping that edge down, that is the flat edge of my pencil, is really going to help. Also having a nice sharpened pencil. I feel like this pencil maybe isn't even sharp enough for me. But anyway, I'm going to get that in, that light edge, and I'm going to get a layer of light that I want to look even. So I'm going to constantly turn it and really just try to get it looking really even. I don't want it to look like there's a variety of values on here. If there is a variety, I don't want it to be too severe. So again, it could be a 2 and a 3, but I don't want a 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on the same front of my shape. Okay, once I have that in and that light value in all over my front of my shape, I am going to then turn into the medium. And again, I don't want it to be the same. So if I shade these two really similar or the same, it's not going to pop. But if I get in here, see, that looks still flat. But if I get in here on my medium and I really make it like a 4 or 5 or a 6, I get it a lot darker, especially at the edge where it hits that light side, then you start to get this feeling that that roof is a separate side and it's going to pop away from the front of that house. And here we go. I'm going to shade that roof in, and I just want to try to make it as even as possible. So I'm going to start to shade that in. And again, get in anywhere where it feels like it's too light, just to try to make this look flat. Again, if I go gradually from light to dark on this, it's going to look like it is curved or sloped. So I really want this to just stay one flat color, kind of like the segregated value chart that you did. You're going to want to stick with one color throughout that whole section. Okay. Now I'm coming to my dark. And again, if this dark is too similar to my medium or too similar to my light, I'm not going to see a difference. It's not going to pop. Okay. So you see how this side and that side are almost the same, and therefore this is not popping away from that. It doesn't look like a corner. But watch what happens when I really get dark at that corner and I really put that in at like an 8 or a 9. Now we can start to see that that corner really starts to kind of look like it's back in space. It's really taking a three-dimensionality that is just makes it look really, really cool. So if we thought the perspective looked cool before, when we start to shade these and use that light, medium, and dark shade and this strategy and this technique, we really get this feeling that these are popping right off the page. And they look really, really fun and cool. And they're not that difficult to do. So if we follow this strategy of having an arrow for our light source, an M for medium, L for light, and D for dark, we start to give ourselves this really cool feeling where the shape really starts to pop. Have fun, get it done. You're going to shade all 5 of your shapes.